Hello there! Today I'm going to be reviewing the Mega Bloks Halo UNSC Warthog set, released in 2009 for ages 8 and up. Okay, so if we remove the figures, as you can see, we have two builds. We have the Warthog and we also have the Covenant turret. If we remove the Covenant turret, we'll take a look at the Warthog first. Okay, so here's the Warthog. It's the very first Warthog they ever did. It's got the standard machine gun, so not a rocket hog, not a Gauss hog, none of that. It's just a classic old Warthog. I actually think this was one of only two Warthogs that they've ever done in green with the standard machine gun. The other one was Warthog Resistance in 2012, so that's quite interesting. I'm actually kind of surprised about that. It doesn't actually have a lot of the specialized Warthog pieces we all know today, which is interesting. It's got a single piece aerial, which is not rubber, so it sort of stays in one place. We've got stickers, which are peeling due to the fact that they are old. We have the front lights. They just look super realistic, like they are too realistic, in my opinion, for this set. I think it's just a bit too realistic compared to the rest of it. I mean, obviously it's designed to be fairly realistic, but just the detail on those front lights and the brake lights, or the indicators, I'm not sure, I think they're the indicator lights, and the fire extinguisher here as well. They're all overly realistic, which is a bit of a shame. Green steering wheel here, which is interesting. Not good, not bad, just interesting. This windscreen element, it's a slightly different green to the rest of the set. I'm not sure if that's on purpose, or whether that was just my one, or whether it's yellowed, you know, discolored, I don't know, whatever. But I figured I'd point that out anyway. You've got a couple of these hook pieces. I found the fit of the pieces to be a bit poor. And also, I think it's a little bit too tall, too high. The seating area is a bit too high, so it's a bit too much effort for the characters to climb up and hop in. And also, here, this is really, really thin, unrealistically thin. It's not a bad, not bad, it's just not great. I think most Warthogs are better than this, aside from the CDF Arctic Warthog, which I despise because the 2016 dual motor was so good that you know, they could have just done something like that and done a Warthog Resistance type set with the dual mode Warthog's design. But no, they had to devolve their Warthog design. Covenant turret, it's a very quick build, it only takes a couple minutes to put together. Really, there's not a lot of interesting parts here. The base is kind of interesting. The seat is probably the most interesting part. The actual shield with the guns part. This can go up and down a bit, and then it can rotate at the base, as you can see. It can sort of rotate a bit. I found that these here, the actual guns themselves, they've got a tendency to fall off sometimes. But that can be, you know, if you turn it, or if you just knock it accidentally, then it can fall off. But obviously it doesn't want to do it for camera, because that's how my Mega Bloks works. Anyway, shall we take a look at the weapon? Okay, so unfortunately there are only 3 weapons, and all of them are bad. So, if we take a look, we have 2 SMGs, which are completely oversized. I was never really a fan of SMGs to start off with, but the oversized ones are just ridiculously terrible, so that's not very good. I just really don't like the weapons. They are just too big for the figures. And then, of course, this is a beam rifle, which to me, if you flip it over, it's a pterodactyl head, let's be honest. But, you know, again, there's an updated beam rifle, which obviously isn't this particular design. It's an updated design in general, but I think this is just lacking in detail a bit. And look, there's a 9 right there. That is just pathetic. Anyway, should we take a look at the figures? Okay, so here are the figures. Now, there are 3 figures, but the other figure, which is a Spartan, is completely identical to this guy right here, so we don't need to take a look at him. Okay, so starting off, we have the Elite. He is in dark blue. I'm not a big fan of him. He's got grey for the skin tones. His eyes are more blobs than anything else. His mouth, the mandibles need to be grey, which is sloppy. No back peg, which is just unfortunate, you know. Overall, I'm not a big fan of the old Elite, but it's still not too bad. The Spartan, I like this. The wash ended up being very good. Olive green color, which is great. We need more olive green figures in the new articulation, I think. Nice silver Under Armour color. Gold visor, which is a good color of gold, warm gold. There is a backpack for him, which is always nice to see. Generally speaking, he's a great figure. Obviously, he is old articulation, but I would really like to see a complete replica of this figure in new articulation, because I think he's a great figure to have. And they were really common in 2009, 2010. They were everywhere, you know. I'm pretty sure they were even in the blind bags. You know, the not Master Chief / not Jerome / not Alice / not Douglas wannabe figure. They were everywhere. So, you know, it's a great figure to have. Anyway, let's move on to the conclusion, shall we? Okay, so overall, I would recommend the set. I'd say the turret isn't that great. There's better Covenant turrets out there, so that's not that great. Again, with the Warthog Resistance is better, but this can be obtained a lot cheaper than Warthog Resistance can. So it's good in that sort of sense. And there's a lot of good slopes and inverted slopes and plates in old green, so that's always good to have. In terms of figures, the Spartans, I think they're excellent, especially for their time. The weapons are rubbish. The Elite is sort of a bit meh. Get it if it's cheap. Thanks for watching. Keep your eyes out for my next review, Locust vs. Warthog, and I'll see you later. Very cool.